So on August 27th, something pretty wild happened in the crypto market. A top 30 coin, you might know it, Kronos or CRO, just shot straight up. It went vertical. And everyone was asking the same thing. Why? So today, we are going to break down exactly what was behind this massive, massive spike. Yeah, you're seeing that right. A 41% jump in just one day. Now, for a coin with a multi-billion-dollar market cap like CRO, that kind of move, it's not just a ripple, it's a full-on tidal wave. And it had the whole market scratching their heads and asking one question. And that's really the big question here, isn't it? What in the world could pump that much energy, that much momentum into a well-established coin? And so quickly. Okay, so we know what happens. Now, let's dive into the why. All right, first things first, let's look at the immediate market reaction. Because, that 40% price jump, that was only part of the picture. The real story, the thing that shows you what was really going on, was kind of hidden in the trading data. See, this wasn't just a couple of big whales making a move. The trading volume for CRO, it just went ballistic. We're talking a 1,400% explosion. Let me put that another way. That's 14 times its normal daily activity. So yeah, this was no trickle. This was a flood, a huge wave of interest that was fueling this whole thing. So what could cause a frenzy like that? Well, it all comes back to one single massive bombshell announcement, a partnership that pretty much changed the game overnight. The big news that dropped was a huge partnership between Crypto.com, the company behind CRO, and Trump Media and Technology Group. And look, this was not some simple collab. We are talking about a massive multi-billion-dollar strategic alliance. And the headline number, just wow, 6.4 times billion dollars. That's the valuation they put on this new joint venture they're spinning up. I mean, that number alone tells you everything you need to know about the scale of this deal. It's huge. Okay, so what does this deal actually mean? What are they doing? Well, first, they're creating a whole new crypto treasury company, and the plan is to take it public. Now, if you're holding CRO, these next two bits are the real kicker. One, CRO is going to be integrated right into the Truth Social platform for things like payments and rewards. And two, that new treasury they're creating, it's going to hold over $1 billion worth of CRO tokens. That takes a massive chunk of the supply right off the market. All right, so we're talking a lot about CRO. Maybe some of you are wondering, what exactly is Kronos? Let's do a quick deep dive on the coin that's at the heart of all this drama. It's actually pretty simple. Kronos, or CRO, is the native token for the whole Crypto.com ecosystem. You've probably seen their ads everywhere, right? Maybe you even use their app. Well, CRO is basically the fuel that makes that whole engine run. It powers everything on their platform, buying, selling, spending, all of it. And the thing is, CRO isn't just some coin you trade and hope it goes up. It already has real utility, It's used for stuff like cashback on those Crypto.com Visa cards. You can stake it to earn rewards, it helps power their DeFi stuff, and you can use it for NFTs. It's an established token that already has a job to do. But here's the thing. As massive as this Trump media deal was, it didn't just come out of nowhere. It didn't happen in a vacuum. The fuse for this explosion, well, it was already lit. For months, CRO had been quietly building up some serious positive momentum. If you look back, after it hit that all-time high way back in late 2021, the team really put their heads down and focused on building. I mean, earlier this year, they proposed changes to make staking rewards better. Just last month, a big network upgrade went live. All these little things were laying the groundwork piece by piece for the huge news that dropped in August. And it didn't stop there. The positive signals kept coming. The Kronos team dropped this super ambitious new roadmap, calling it the golden age of on-chain dominance. Pretty confident, right? At the same time, if you looked at the on-chain data, you could see the whales, the really big investors, were already starting to accumulate CRO. Plus, there was all this chatter about unlocking even more demand through things like ETFs. Okay, so we've got the catalyst, the big announcement, and we've got the momentum that was already building. But what does this all mean for CRO's future? This is where things get a little messy. It's where you have the super bullish case running right up against some pretty serious skepticism from the community. It's like there are two sides to this coin, literally. On one side, you've got the bulls. They're looking at a huge new user base coming from Truth Social, a big chunk of the supply getting locked up in that treasury, and just insane media attention. But then you've got the skeptics, and they're raising some really valid points. They're worried about tying the coin's future to a political figure. They're saying this price pump is all hype, not fundamentals. And they're pointing to some, let's say, controversies from the past. And this comment from social media kind of sums up that skepticism perfectly. Quote, "Great, so now my crypto portfolio is dependent on what some politician says or does. Just what everyone wanted." You can feel the sarcasm, right? For a lot of people in crypto, the whole point was to be separate from traditional politics. So tying a major coin's future to a political figure, yeah, for some, that feels like a huge step in the wrong direction. And for some of the critics, that distrust runs even deeper. Take this comment, for example. You gave them 6 billion CRO from the tokens that were meant to be burnt forever. This is pointing back to a really controversial moment in Crypto.com's history. They announced this massive token burn, which is supposed to permanently destroy tokens, but then they canceled it. So now the argument is that the very same tokens that were supposed to be gone forever are being used in this deal. And that, understandably, raises some serious questions about the project's tokenomics and trust. So all of this leaves us with a really big fundamental question. Is this the new model for crypto adoption? Partnering up with huge media brands to bring in millions of new users? Or is this a super risky mix of media, politics, and finance that kind of goes against the whole point of decentralization? The whole CRO story has become this fascinating, real-time experiment, and you can bet the entire crypto world is going to be watching to see how it plays out. Thanks for joining us for this explainer.